The month of May is upon us, so that can only mean one thing. It's time for the iRacing Indy 500. This event uses the Dallara IR18 IndyCar at the Indianapolis Oval. It's a 200-lap race, which adds up to 500 miles. This is a unique special event in that the qualifying is separate and takes place in the week leading up to the race, and the race splits are decided by those qualifying times rather than your iRating. Why should you give this race a go? Well, IndyCar oval racing is some of the most intense racing you can take part in, and Indianapolis is probably the best place to do it. It's a long race with lots of strategy at play, and the unique qualifying procedure means that qualifying is almost as important of a part of the event as the race itself. So the big thing about this race is that the qualifying is separate and decides the splits. Qualifying sessions will run every hour during race week and end when the first race time slot begins. You will be able to attempt qualifying as many times as you like. You have 4 laps in each quali session, and what matters is your average lap time across 4 laps, just like the real Indy 500 qualifying. Having a super fast first lap is meaningless if the rest of your lap times drop off too much. You can't have a 0x wall contact across any of your laps because that will invalidate one of the 4, and then you won't have a 4-lap average, so avoid hitting the wall in any of your runs. You can check the current standing in the qualifying by going to the series page, standings, and then changing the drop down to qualifying. I'm using Ringmeister here as an example, as it also has detached qualifying. Make sure you choose the correct series when you look for the standings, as the fixed and open Indy 500s have separate entries in the series list. The race splits will be decided by the qualifying times. The maximum number of starters is 33, so the top 33 in qualifying are generally guaranteed top split, but this can vary. For example, it's possible that there'll be fewer than 33 cars in each split depending on the number of signups, so in that case the 33rd qualifier would end up in second split. But also, chances are not everyone in the top 33 will even sign up for each time slot, so you'll usually be in a higher split than what your qualifying position suggests. Last year I was 3rd split in the broadcast slot for the open setup race, and I only had the 200th fastest time. What happens if you don't set a qualifying time though? Well, those that don't qualify will be split by their iRating instead, but behind those who have qualified, so the non-qualifier with the highest iRating will be placed one position behind the slowest driver who qualified. This means that there will be one odd split in the middle that has both the highest iRated non-qualifiers and the slowest qualifiers mixed together, which probably a bit of a weird split to be in. Choosing not to qualify gives you the option to drive a more traditional iRacing split for the race, which may appeal to some people more than the qualifying splits that you have for this race. Your grid position in each time slot will also be decided by those qualifying times from earlier in the week. There's no separate qualifying within the race time slot, so it's kind of random whether you'll start on pole or right at the back. Those with no qualifying time will be gridded by iRating. Tires and fuel are done at the same time in the pit stop, so if you're coming in for a full tank of fuel, then you might as well take tires. Tire wear usually isn't a huge factor at Indianapolis in this car from my experience, but fresh tires are definitely better than old ones. You'll have unlimited sets of tires for the race. There will of course be yellow flag caution periods in the race. It's up to you whether you'd rather keep your track position or pit when this happens, but I often find that having the extra fuel in the car to go a bit longer than others can be very helpful. Fuel saving will definitely become a factor if you get long green flag runs, so make sure you have everything you need to work out your fuel, and remember to utilize the engine map options that you can adjust in car. 1 is the fastest and uses the most fuel, and 5 uses the least. 6 and 7 are the same as 1 but are non-linear, and 8 is running under caution. Don't use 8 while at racing speed or you may blow up. The Indy 500 and fixed Indy 500 will have separate entries in the series list. Just search for Indy 500 and both will come up. Make sure you don't have any filters on that may hide them, and make sure you choose the right one. Registration for the race sessions should be open for a full hour before the start, but qualifying sessions may only be 30 minutes. One thing to note about signing up for a qualifying session specifically is that it will not take you to a practice session while you wait for the start time like it would with a normal race. It'll simply wait until the start time and then give you your join button, so don't panic when nothing seems to actually happen when you register. As long as you've got the green bar, you're fine. You can, however, launch an offline test session while you're registered for this if you want to do some driving in the meantime. Here are all the time slots for both the fixed and open races on your screen now in UTC. You can convert these into your own time zone, or if you want it done automatically, you can join my Discord, link in the description below, where the time slots will be automatically converted into your time zone. I've also got the qualifying periods timestamped on there as well. Time slot 3 will be the broadcast slot for both the fixed and open race weekends. So this is the slot to go for the highest participation and a chance to be on the broadcast if you've qualified high enough. When you load in, there'll be a 15-minute warm-up session followed immediately by the race. There's no qualifying in the race session. Jump back to the qualifying chapter earlier in the video if you've missed how this works. You have the choice of both fixed or open setup races for this event, and since they're on completely different weeks, you can quite easily try both options if you want to. Quite a few setup shops will have setups available, including Majors Garage and Apex Racing Academy. I have affiliate links in the description below for both of these, which help support the channel if you choose to use them, and the Apex one also gives you 10% off. Weather is a bit interesting for this event with the qualifying setup. iRacing say that for the fixed race they'll use the same static weather conditions as the Indy Oval Fixed Series that week, which is also at Indianapolis, but for the open race the weather will be forecasted for both qualifying and the race, but the weather will be static in qualifying to make it fair, and then dynamic in the race itself, and of course that may vary between time slots as weather can. You'll need a C-Class oval license to participate, or a D license at 4.0 or above. There are no penalties or disqualifications from incident points, which seems odd, but it's hard to not end up in the fence if you're starting to rack up the points in this car with how large the accidents can be at these sort of speeds on this sort of track. The maximum field size, like I mentioned earlier, is 33. This car also has some tools that help you deal with dirty air and adjust the balance of the car while driving. It has adjustable front and rear ARBs and weight jacker. And I'm not going to try and explain these in detail here. I'm going to link to Team i5G's IndyCar guide in the description below. If you're new to this car and not sure how all those work, I do recommend watching that because getting the hang of those will really help you be able to race other cars more effectively. So check that out in the description below if you like. That's everything for this event. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, and good luck for your race.